MOGO's Power Sort allows you to create a completely customized report. From something as basic as an active patient list to much more complex reports with multiple criteria and breakdowns, the Power Sort is one of MOGO's most powerful features, no pun intended. Before we set up a new report, let's take a look at one that has already been created. This setup is for a list of active patients. As you can see, there are only 3 fields that will be displayed on the report. We will look at the setup in just a minute, but first let's click on the Generate button to see how the report displays. This list shows all patients who are considered active. We have excluded all patients who have been purged and are displaying the patient's last visit date. This filtered out any patients who are not purged but who don't have a last visit date. One thing that was not included in the setup was a date range, so this report shows all patients, regardless of how long ago they were in last. Let's go back into setup to fix this problem. The first field, last name, first name, is fine, nothing needing to be changed. The account status field is set to exclude patients with an exclamation mark in the status field, which would indicate they were purged. The final field, last visit date, needs some criteria to make the list only current active patients. To do this, we will select from the criteria at the bottom. Select the option for equal or greater. Next to the box for then is a box to click which will bring up a list of choices. For our example, we will click Show Calendar. On the calendar, click where it shows the year. We will limit our list to the last 2 years, so enter the appropriate date and click OK. Now that the criteria are in, click on Generate once more. You can see that the list is dramatically smaller, only 1,000 records instead of 1,400 before we limited the dates. What makes the Power Sort even more powerful is the ability to break down the report using the criteria we already entered. For example, we know how many patients are active and have been in at least once in the last 2 years, but what if we want to see how many of those patients are active in the last year or the last 6 months? We can create this breakdown by clicking on this box. Under Breakdown By, select Last Visit Date, choose Year, and click Generate. Now we can see how many of our active patients were last seen in 2014, 2015, and 2016. Now that we've seen what the Power Sort can do, let's go back and see how we create a new report. For an example, we will create a demographics report. This will give us a chance to see more of the breakdown capabilities of the Power Sort. To start, we will add the patient name field. From the Patient tab, find the last name, first name field. Double-click it to add it to the report. Next, find the City field and add it to the report. Our next field will be the birth date. Find the field and add it as well. The last field to enter will be the patient gender. To add this, find the sex field and add it to our report. As we saw in the previous example, we will want to filter out purged and inactive patients. For purged, we will add the account status field. This time, we need to add some criteria. At the bottom, select the Any Place in Field option and put an exclamation mark in the Contain field. Because we want to keep the patients with the exclamation mark, which denotes they are purged, out of our report, we will choose Exclude. There is no need for the account status field to be displayed on this report, so we can choose the option to not include it on the display. For active patients, add the last visit date field. Once again, we have to add some criteria. It will be the same as we entered in the previous example. Choose equal or greater and enter a date to limit our search to. As we did with the account status field, we can choose to not show the appointment date on the report by choosing the No option. There are more fields we could add to the report, but for our example, this is a good start. To display the report, click on the Generate button. This is going to display the exact same list as we generated before, but now we have more fields to break down by. We can see what percentage of our patients live in each city, the breakdown of patient ages, or even what percentage of our patients are male or female. After exiting the generated report, you will be brought back to the PowerSort setup screen. A helpful function of the PowerSort is that you can save the setup so that you don't have to enter it every time. Before we save, to make things easier on us in the future, we are going to remove the date from the last visit date criteria. Once removed, click the Save icon and give the report a name. The next time you open the PowerSort, you can click on the Open icon and bring up the already set up report. Before we generate, we just need to make sure to put the correct date under the last visit date criteria, and then hit Generate.